Greetings, radiant souls, and welcome back to Arise and Shine with me, Dr. Vivian. Today we are exploring a topic that resonates with many of us, and that is navigating career crossroads with faith. Join me for a thrilling journey of real stories of biblical examples and strategies to illuminate your career path with faith. So, as we embark on our career journeys, it's just like a hero's call to adventure. Let me start by taking you to the good book. And I would like us to explore the story of Abraham, or Father Abraham, as many call him. You know, the story of Abraham was recorded in the book of Genesis. And when we look at Genesis 12, this is a guy born in a family, and him and his brothers have been trained in the career of their family. The family business was shepherding sheep, and they were all doing just okay in that business. And this guy has grown and is mature and he's married and he's doing okay in the family business and shepherding sheep. And one day, out of nowhere, God shows up and says, "Hey, Abraham, get ready for a career shift. I am calling you to make you a career titled what? Father of Nations. Father of Nations." And mind you, this guy has no child. This guy has been married with his wife, and they have no children, and they're doing just okay, doing their sheep and trusting God like everyone else. And God is like, "I'll make you a father of many nations. You will have so many descendants. This is going to be your new career. And through your descendants, many people will be blessed." And wait, boy, but you have to abandon everything. Like, leave your current business, leave your current family. And I'm taking you to a land that I will show you. It doesn't get more complicated than that. First, you're going to be a father of many nations. It doesn't really look feasible, given that you even have no child, no biological child of your own. And second, no, that's not all right. How am I going to survive? Leave everything behind, and I'll take you where? To a place that I will show you. And this guy, through faith, had to navigate this career shift. And we know how the story all ended. And he became the father of many nations. And he gave birth to the nation of Israel as we now know it, with the 12 tribes. And it was all navigating this career shift with faith. So when we look at this biblical example with faith, we can discover how faith can be a compass that can actually move us on our career adventures. But let me bring you actually to other real life stories that I have seen. In the days when I was doing my master's degree, and I think it was a graduation ceremony that we had for our masters, and we had this keynote speaker. And she was just amazing. And when she started talking, and she got to a point and she said, "Okay, let me share my personal story. Today I am known as an acclaimed sociologist and everything. But it all didn't start here. I was trained as a medical doctor, practiced as a medical doctor. But in my heart of hearts, I knew I was born to become a sociologist and to work with people and communities and build communities and social movements and this and all that. And I just had to go back to school, and look at me now, and they call me a professor in sociology and all this. It was a whole career shift by faith. And there are countless stories like that. I remember I was at an occasion, and we had this renowned comedian now and a renowned actor. He does great things in Hollywood. He's so acclaimed for the things he does today. But this guy was also trained by some coincidence, as a medical doctor, his parents wanted him to become one. He obeyed, went to medical school, did all the training, came out, practiced. And after some years, he says, Mommy, Daddy, I don't think I'm cut for this. I want to become an actor and a comedian. And that is what he is. And he is doing great. He is creating all kinds of content and just fulfilling his life's purpose. And when we talk about navigating difficult career paths by faith, no one puts it better than I want us to look at when faith confronts us in the wilderness of uncertainty. And a classic example is the story of Moses in the Bible in Exodus chapter 3. This guy found himself in career crossroads when he encountered the burning bush experience. But let's take some steps back and look at who is Moses. This guy born of Hebrew parents, immigrants into Egypt. And this guy was born in a season where the population of the Hebrews was growing at a rate that was not so comfortable for the pharaohs and the leaders of Egypt in the day. And they were like, we need to put a stop to this. And what was their strategy? All the males that are born need to be killed so that we don't get population growth of these people. And Moses was born in that season, and obviously his fate was, he was one of the targets to die. But by some miracle, he did not. He escaped that, was adopted by a daughter of the Pharaoh, grew up in the palace. At one point in his childhood, he must have assumed that he is a prince and maybe will grow up to be a leader in Egypt and everything, all the fanfare that comes with growing in a palace. And then when he grew older, he realized, oh no, I am not an Egyptian. I'm a Hebrew. Some people might have been telling him, oh no, can't you see? You're not one of us. You don't look like us. And now he started trying to align himself to his people. And he realized that, oh no, I'm too young for this. I'm not able to really lead them. And out of all these confusions and rejection by his people, because he's trying to align to them and they don't even know him. They thought he was an Egyptian, and rejection by the Egyptians because they realized that this guy doesn't really, he's not loyal. He doesn't pay allegiance to us, even though he grew up amongst us. And then that pushes him to escape. And he finds himself in the wilderness. And in the wilderness, he found a career for himself. He became a shepherd of sheep, got married, had a family and children of his own, and was doing just okay. And thought this was life. I'm paying the bills. I'm fine. Then the burning bush experience. And a voice comes out and say, hey, Moses, now, I have found out that you are about to get a career shift. I am going to redeploy you from where you are right now, and you would be the savior of my people, Israel, from their bondage in Egypt. And Israel is like, hey, God, please wait a moment. I am trained as a shepherd boy. I work with sheep. They don't talk. I don't have the set of skills, to lead human beings. I have been a leader of sheep. Human beings don't complain. Human beings don't quarrel. And God, you can see, I don't have those set of skills to deal with interpersonal issues and all those things that come with leading people and motivating them and all kinds of things. God, please look for someone. God says, no, you would go, I will equip you. And then he says, God, one more thing, come on, God. You see, I'm deprived of speech. I can't talk properly. I don't have the right communication. Look for someone who is a good speaker, who can lead these people. God says, no, if that's your issue, I'll complement that. I'll bring Aaron, your brother, and he will be your spokesman. But I'm going to package you into that leader that will lead these people. And this was a turning point for this guy in career, navigating these crossroads, trying to bargain his way out of it. But God, by his mercies, equipped him and prepared him and brought in the support system that he needed in Aaron, his brother, to go and do the work. And we know the rest of the story. He went back to Egypt. He confronted the Pharaoh. And for 40 years in the wilderness, he led the children of Israel, navigating all the crossroads, dealing with personal issues, dealing with all kinds of rebellion, all kinds of things you will deal with when you are leading people. And we saw how great his career was doing all this. So we can see that from doubt to leadership, this kind of lesson of the journey of Moses from doubt to leadership teaches us valuable lessons about trusting the path. Even when we it seems so unclear and we don't know where we are going to. I mean, I was talking to someone else, Lisa, and she was like, during COVID, Vivian, I just had a sudden loss of my job. And in the midst of this career wilderness, what happened? She discovered faith could be a guiding light. Her story resonates with many of us, how we can navigate career uncertainties using faith. So let's take a moment and get more practical. Let's go back to the good book, and I'd like you to go with me to the book of Proverbs chapter 3 and in verse 6. It advises us, in all your ways acknowledge God, and he will make your path straight. Faith is not just a word, it is a compass. Let's explore strategies that, you need to begin to think about it like, when I am thinking like I'm in that wilderness like Moses, and I'm thinking about shifting my career. Maybe I went to school and I studied this and I've been working in this, and I need to have a career shift, and I'm wondering, do I have the right set of skills? Do I have, is it the right time? And there are a lot of things that are on your mind as you navigate a particular career crossroads, or you've been working in a particular role and you want to get promotion, or you want to get this kind of shift. There are a lot of things, but the book of Proverbs says, trust, acknowledge the Lord, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. When the path looks so crooked, so uncertain, and you are not sure of the next move and whether it's the right move, when you acknowledge God and look up to him, he will help us. So faith helps us. Let's look at strategies when we incorporate faith into our career decisions. We get divine guidance. We get how God leads us. So one of the things I always want us to know is that in all this, faith helps us to deal with the setbacks. I mean, think about Moses and the rebellion of the Israelites, and how it was just a challenge for him to lead this bunch of people. He knew that it was going to be hard, but he did not really know at the beginning how hard it was going to be. And the challenges were real. People, they were rebelling against him. They didn't want him at one point. They were complaining all the time. Faith never exempted him from these issues. The reality when you are in a new career, when you have a career shift. But what happens is that faith empowers us to overcome them. The trust that you can actually become all you were created to be. That helps you to know that you can go higher and higher and overcome every setback that would help you to become more resilient and move your career from where you are, navigating all the difficult crossroads. So, what an extraordinary journey. As we begin to wrap this episode for today, it's been an extraordinary journey looking at career crossroads, looking at the role of faith to illuminate when we are dealing with all these confusions in our career and decisions and how to move. What happens is that faith becomes that guiding star. Faith becomes that guiding star. Like we read in Proverbs, it says, when we trust in the Lord, He would illuminate our path. He would guide. He will make our path straight. So from the biblical landscape, we looked at Abraham's call. We looked at how he moved from just being a shepherd boy to becoming father of nation, a career which he never bargained nor asked for, but by faith he had to navigate all that. We looked at the story of Moses, from still another shepherd boy to leadership position that in his own mind he had no skill sets, no expertise to do this, but by faith he rose up to the challenge and he became that great leader that we know up to today, that led the Israelites from Egypt to the promised land, as we know the story. So as we wrap up this episode for today, I want to leave you with a quote from the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 29 and in verse 11. A verse that if you're familiar with the Bible, you might be familiar with this verse, and it says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, plans for good and not of evil, plans to give you a future and a hope." So your career path may be winding, may be twisting, but it is leading you through a purposeful future because God has a plan for you. He has a plan for good. So those winds and those twists in your career, it's not the end of it. When we, by faith, try to navigate them, then we get to that expectant end. Then we get to that end like Moses and Abraham and others got to in their careers. So let's not forget setbacks, challenges in careers, just like Moses and Abraham and many others face in their careers, just pushes us to rise above these challenges, navigate all these crossroads, and become the best that we can be. So embrace every setback, every challenge in your career crossroads as opportunities for growth. And remember, like I will always say, setbacks are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones. As we navigate our careers with faith, let's stay connected. Share your stories. If you want to be on our podcast, send me direct messages, contact us. Above all, comments. Let's know what if this podcast is adding value to you. Share with someone and subscribe. And together, let's continue to arise and shine. Until next time, may your career path be illuminated with faith. And may you continue to rise above the crossroads and keep shining brighter and brighter.